It's Superhero, and you're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
It is now a day before, basically, Thanksgiving Eve. Come on, kitty. Come on. I'm trying to get out of here. It's day before Thanksgiving Eve. I'll be back. The day before. What do you call it? Thanksgiving Eve. Yes. 2018. I don't know why in my brain I want to keep jumping to 2019. I don't know why I want to keep doing that. But for some reason, something in my brain wants to keep putting 2019. When I write out the dates on things, it's going to be a good one. As I may have previously stated, one of my best friends, Jeremy, unless I can talk him out of it, unless I can talk him into, if I could persuade him into renting a house with my sister and I, and all the cats, he's, unless I can kind of entice him with that idea, I think he's moving back to Chicago. Or he's thinking, oh man, here we have a homeless person. Oh man. Day before Thanksgiving, we got folks sleeping on the streets. So he's moving because my buddy Andy has to move back to Chicago. He has to move back to Chicago to help out his dad. His dad is very sick. So he's going to go out there and help out. Jeremy lives over there. And as a result, since he lives at the house is getting sold. Jeremy has to go someplace. And that seemed to be like the best option for him. He's my fellow collaborator. Very witty, very wise. Speaking of wise, let this be a word to the wise. And this is actually I think this is actually a good tie-in with Thanksgiving and being thankful is really look around at the friends and family that you have right now. And think about all the projects, the creations, think about all that stuff that you want to do with these folks. Maybe you want to form a band, maybe you want to paint together. I would suggest do that as soon as possible. In fact, strike as close to when the iron is hot as you can. As they say, when the iron's hot, that's when you can bend it. That's when you can twist it around, sculpt it, shape it. When it's iron that is completely just iron, you can't, it's there, immovable. Strike as close to when the iron is hot. The reason why I say this is that Jeremy is an extraordinary writer and a wonderful Imagineer. So is Andy. And for these guys to be moving back, I always had this idea of writing screenplays with Jeremy and getting them out there, making movies with Jeremy, well, and Andy too. Now, this isn't to say that I'll never see them again. I mean, I hardly make it out to Chicago. It's not to say I'll never see them again or never collaborate with them. In fact, that would be silly of me to have that kind of limiting belief system and to choose to have that be that way. It's interesting. As I'm thinking about this, there's some weird... Folks are addicted to pleasure like they are to pain. Or to pain like they are to pleasure. That's why you got people who pay others to spank them and cut them up and time up in very painful ways. So there's this is it adrenaline that's released? Is it endorphins? I am definitely not a scientist by any means, and have no place in utilizing this language unless I absolutely know what it is. However, let's just insert the technical term there, the appropriate technical term, and realize that there's a certain vibe, that excitement, so to speak, an addiction that can happen when, let's say, when playing a victim role. There can be that addiction to wanting to complain about stuff, the addiction to wanting to feeling bad about something, being down in the dumps about something. It's like, I think sometimes there's that addiction to, like sentimentality. That idea of like being in that state of going, oh, things aren't the way they used to be. I wish it was this. Things are not as good as they used to be. They used to be like this, and now they've turned into this, and now blah, 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 blah. And there's a big comparison now, list of comparisons now that are going on. And just as much as there can be that excitement of moving forward, of exploring new horizons, seeing what else is out there, rather than re-exploring the same old territory and perhaps living with regrets or thinking out different ways in which it could have worked. So, having said that, there's no reason for me to get down in the dumps about this. Do I regret not hanging out them more? Absolutely. That just means that I've got to do that now while I can. There's a man who's pulling out with his car. It kind of looks like a DeLorean. And the man who's driving inside kind of looks like an older Johnny Depp. Cowboy hat on, black sunglasses, short grayish hair. It looked like Johnny Depp in disguise, to be honest with you. Huh, interesting. So, strike when the iron's hot, folks. If there are people you want to work with, collaborate with, do it as soon as you can. More on this later.
Here's your fun fact. The world-famous Hollywood sign was put in place in 1923 by a real estate developer. Originally meant to stay in place for only 18 months to advertise properties. It originally read Hollywood Land. The sign remained in place long after it was intended to. And in 1949, the word land was removed. Stay tuned to Inspirado Projecto for more fun facts.
This plays through their eyes in a brand new way.
Yeah.
So, okay, here, let me sit here next to you. All right, so, okay, so what's your name?
Hey, my name is Alyssa Flowers.
And you moved out here from
Memphis, Tennessee.
And what brought you out here?
Well, I wanted to leave Memphis because my son's out there. I kept getting robbed. Memphis is Memphis, But I came out here because the people that I know that have made their way out here are all, like, some of the greatest people that I know. Like, they came from nothing, like, from Memphis, from where I came from nothing, too. And, like, built their way up to writing for Chris Brown and Usher and being fashion designer and photographer that lives on Hollywood Boulevard. I just have really good people who like I look up to personally that made their way out here, and I'm a singer and a dancer and an actress, and I model a little bit, I'm a songwriter, and it's just like the place for me to be.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you have music out there that anybody can listen
I
to?
haven't released anything because God told me not to. I got struck by lightning this year.
What?
Deadass. Have you heard of Bonnaroo?
Yes.
At Bonnaroo.
You were there, and you were struck by lightning?
On that Sunday, the last day, that Sunday morning at 10:30 in the morning, church
What
time.
the heck?
I deadass, literally, I stole an umbrella from the Jesus tent.
Uh-oh.
And I got struck by lightning 5 steps later. From that umbrella.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not oh your God, oh your gosh.
What the heck? Well, what the heck? What is that experience like?
Oh God, that's a whole nother podcast.
Did you come across visions? Did you have?
Yeah. Okay, you see the scar on my leg?
Yeah. Is that from it?
No. That happened when I was 15, and I lost my pulse for 12 seconds during this experience during one of my surgeries. And so I know what it feels like to lose your pulse. And when I got struck by lightning, I know that it happened for a fact. My best friend, my goddaughter, and my grandfather all passed away that same year. Like within a year, right before the first one.
Oh my gosh.
And I felt all 3 of them. Like I saw all 3 of them, felt all 3 of them when I got struck. And it was just like random because I wasn't thinking about them at the time. But
so did you feel that they were greeting you?
My best friend hugged me and smiled at me. My goddaughter, like I felt her energy. Like, you know, she didn't say anything. She was 3 days old and she passed, so she couldn't say anything. I just felt her energy and her like that abundance of love. And then my grandfather, he said, "Something, little boy. Like something, little boy. Like you ain't ready to die yet, little boy." He calls me little boy. And it's funny because the first time I lost my pulse when I was 15, my other grandfather died the same day that I broke my leg. I lost my pulse the next day, but no one told me he passed away yet.
Oh my gosh.
But my grandfather spoke to me like while I lost my pulse, and I didn't even know he was dead yet.
Whoa.
Isn't that crazy?
So in that moment, do you think it was that same moment that he
like I think
passed?
he knew because like I feel like whenever you pass you have like you're all-knowing, you know, like God is. And whenever I broke my leg and he had passed that day 2 hours before, I think he just hadn't like crossed over yet, you know, like, but I feel like he was waiting for me to pass so he could be there with me before he like moved on.
This is incredible.
Isn't
you
it
were struck
crazy?
by lightning, and this is just crazy that I happen to be wearing this Memphis shirt. So what's so interesting?
Yeah.
Is that and
Memphis,
it's got
Egypt
on
and that's
it.
what
There's
Memphis is
Thoth.
named
I think there's
after.
Thoth over there.
Because this is where the original slave trade began, was in Memphis, Egypt, and that's why they named Memphis, Tennessee, Memphis.
My goodness, it's astounding that okay. So my buddy,
so beautiful.
I'm in a band, and my buddy gave me this shirt. He goes, "This is a shirt that I think I just had this feeling I needed to give to. I've held on to it all these years, and I just didn't.
This is why.
And I rarely wear it." And he goes, "But you know what? I think I need to give this to you." So he gave it to me. This is basically the first day I wore it. Because today is laundry day.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's bigger, you know, I just don't wear, like, big clothes normally. Then you just happen to, like, open up the door, right? And as I was walking down there, and now all of a sudden I learned that you're from Memphis. So, I mean, this is incredible. And the fact that you were struck by lightning, I mean...
This is why your friend gave you this shirt.
Yes! I cannot wait to tell him this story.
That's
David,
crazy.
if you're listening to this podcast, you know who we're talking about you and the shirt
Hey,
you gave me.
David. How you doing?
Oh, my goodness. So... When you're struck by lightning, what was the next thing? Did someone take you to the hospital? Did you just wake up and get up? Did you? What the heck happens after that?
So I got dropped off at Bonnaroo because I was living in Nashville. It's an hour away from Bonnaroo. So I got dropped off there because my 2 best friends from Memphis were there, and like I needed to see them. Like out of anybody in the whole world, they deserved to be at Bonnaroo. Like I really wanted to see them, so I got dropped off. I get there, I sneak into Bonnaroo. Okay. And then her phone dies. And I'm in Bonnaroo searching for her from midnight until I found her at 2 in the afternoon the next day.
Oh my gosh.
And, yeah. So I was looking for her when I got struck by lightning. And So when I got struck, it electrocuted me, obviously. Like, I'm holding the umbrella that it struck, and it wrapped around my arm. And I'm like, zzz.
The umbrella wrapped around you?
No, the lightning bolt wrapped around my arm.
Oh my gosh. Could you actually see this thing?
I heard it. It was the obvious. If it hits you, it's going to be the loudest one you've ever heard in your life, right?
I bet, because I'm imagining those electricity wires. Like when you go in and you hear the zzz, I can only imagine what that's like inside your own skull when you hear that.
I heard this boom and like a crack, and I looked up holding the umbrella, and there's two strangers like under the umbrella with me. I don't remember either of their names. Yeah. And
what?
They literally had time to duck down, because but when I got struck, they were halfway like to the ground ducking down, because I heard it crack, and I looked up because I heard it, and it was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. And I looked up and I saw it form. I saw it go from one cloud to another and then zip down and hit my umbrella.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, zzz.
Oh my gosh.
And that half a second, I remember 3 hours worth of shit that happened in that half a second. And anyway, so I didn't fall down.
So you felt you were like within a 3 hour time span within that?
Yeah. It was a time warp. And then I didn't fall down or anything, but I had like a vision that I was on the ground and there were people around me, which had never happened. But as soon as it was over, I dropped the umbrella, left it in the field. I looked at it one time after I ran back to the Jesus tent, and I looked at it and it gave me so much anxiety that I never looked at it again. I don't know what happened to that umbrella. Like, it disappeared. My phone was dead the whole time too. So
hold on a second. So you were struck by lightning, and yet still were standing there?
Yeah.
I didn't fall. This is like
I
insane.
Didn't fall. I know.
You stood there and just took the lightning bolts?
Look, God loves me. Like, he loves everybody, but he chose me to do some shit for him. And, like, he gave me superpowers. And lightning literally can give you superpowers. Not, like, superpowers. Like, I can't Spidey web shit.
Goodness.
But
holy cow.
I read research about it after. Okay, so I didn't tell you what happened after. So I ran back to the Jesus tent, and a bunch of people were asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm just like, yeah. Because if I would have said no, I would have died. And I think I know that.
Oh, my God.
I think I really still, it hurt that bad that in that moment, I knew if I said no, I'm not okay, I would have died. So I kept telling everybody, yeah, I'm okay. People saw it. People saw it happen. And I wonder if the person...
This is like newsworthy. Like, this is something that I cannot believe this, or was it? I mean, this is something...
It never made it to the news.
Woman gets struck by lightning at Bonnaroo.
It never made it to the news. But
what the
I want to have like a movie about it one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this, somebody interviewing me about it. But anyway, so then this one guy was sitting at the table with me, and he's the only one that didn't ask if I was okay. He was just making sure I was okay, like watching me. And then finally, I looked at him, and he was the only person that didn't talk to me. So I was like, do you have a phone I could borrow, please? I need to call somebody.
Oh my gosh,
I was touched by lightning. And I'm like still shaking like uncontrollably. My whole body shook like this for 2 weeks.
Whoa.
And then anyways, he was like, yeah, I have a phone charger if you need to charge your phone at the tent. My sister's there. You can take a nap. She'll be there, so it's cool. So I went there and, like, took a 2-hour nap. And, like, I don't know if I should have gone to sleep after that, but I couldn't stand up anymore. I thought I was, like, going to pass out.
Whoa.
So I took a 2-hour nap, charged my phone, and then I finally woke up at 2, called my friend, and she was, like, in the tent, like, 1 row over from me.
Oh, my gosh. So she was right next to you, basically.
Yeah. And then I didn't know anyone at the time who saw me. Like, I didn't know anybody at all. I was with strangers. But since it happened, I've met 4 people personally who saw me get struck by lightning. My friend makes festy heads for Marshmallow. So he made, Marshmallow?
No.
He's an artist.
Oh.
And he wears this marshmallow helmet.
Oh, I have seen that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And my friend makes helmets for his shows, and they have designs on them and stuff.
Wow.
And so, anyways, I met him through a friend. It was my friend's roommate. And I met him, and then she moved out, and I stayed with him for a little while in his extra room. And he was at Bonnaroo selling the festy heads, and all of his friends were there promoting the festy heads. And 2 of his friends that I met saw me get struck by lightning. I don't even remember where I met one of the other people who saw me get struck, but another one, I don't remember where I met them, but they told me that they were in the Jesus tent sitting there watching me and saw it happen.
Did anyone rush over to see if you were okay or anything?
No, I ran back to the Jesus tent, and then everyone came around me, and it was just overwhelming. Oh, God, it was overwhelming.
I mean, the fact that you were right there next to the Jesus tent.
That I stole an umbrella from the Jesus tent, and like 10 seconds before, they were asking me, do you know God is your Lord and Savior? And I'm like, psh, why are you here asking people that? You know we're here to have fun, and we're like, you know, a little ditzy right now, you know? Like, I'm just here because it's raining and you have donuts and free water. So I'm like being a total dick. And I stole an umbrella, and then I got struck by lightning, and it changed my life for the better.
Oh my goodness.
For 2 weeks, I thought that I was like gonna die. I thought that God hated me and that I was chosen to be his least favorite on this planet. But then I just realized that he loves me that much more, that he whooped my ass personally. You know, that was like a parent God whooping.
What kind of, since that occurred, what kind of extra sensory perceptions have you found yourself being able to use?
Okay, so I've always had friends who have had anxiety my whole life, and like I never know what that felt like because I've never had anxiety ever. I've always been chill, like, you know. Well, I had crippling anxiety. Like, from the second it happened, for 2 weeks straight, I couldn't stop shaking. I went to the hospital. Okay, so a day and a half after I got struck, because I finally got a ride back to my dad's house in Nashville, and he was like, he rubbed my back till I fell asleep. He was like, you don't need to go to the hospital right now. Like, you're not well enough to go to the hospital right now.
Whoa.
So I went to sleep. I woke up, I went to the hospital, and they didn't believe me at all. And what was the question?
Well, what kind of, like, extra sensory
so it just gave me, like, crippling anxiety. It was so terrifying. And then finally it switched over to, like, anxiety. I have anxiety because I'm overwhelmed with happiness and joy and motivation to do shit. Like, I have a son. One day I'm going to be able to tell him this story, and he's going to be like, my mom is the shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it really it flipped the switch completely. It went from, like, crippling anxiety to, like, I have anxiety now every day, and it's just, like, overwhelming. Like, I have to get this done. I need to do this because I have to achieve something now. Like, I'm not lazy anymore. Like, I moved to Atlanta, moved back to Nashville, moved to Memphis, went to New York, and then came here since it happened. And I haven't traveled in, like, I don't know how long. Like, it just, like, gave me the will to live. Like,
I love it. So have you found yourself to be more daring? You know, what others might deem as something daring, do you feel that you're just more sort of following your heart now?
Absolutely. I'm gonna give you an example because whenever I decided I was going to move out here, and what my goal date was, I didn't have $1.
Oh.
I quit serving tables. Like, I quit being a waitress because I wanted to do something that was more for me. So I was a stagehand and a production assistant for a little while. And it didn't make me shit money. Like, it just gave me gas and barely enough food to survive, you know? Like, but I was okay with that because I was doing something I wanted. I decided I want to move out here to have $1. Ended up going to the hospital because after effects of the lightning, I was in the hospital for a week.
Oh my goodness.
And when I got out, and I was supposed to start my job that day, so, like, I missed out on a money opportunity. And when I got out of the hospital, I realized, like, the people in Atlanta, like, were not there for me at all. And I was like, I don't want to be out here anymore. So I went back to Nashville without a dime. And then I got there, and I was about to start just working somewhere that was walking distance just so I could get some money in my pocket. And then my friend was like, hey, we're going to New York. You want to come with? Nobody in their right mind would go to New York without $1 in their pocket. But you know what? That was a month ago, and
Wait, a month ago?
Yeah.
You were in
New York.
Oh my God.
And we drove. We drove the whole way. We spent 60 hours in a car within a week.
Oh my goodness.
And then, anyways, so we went out there, and nobody would have done that without $1 in their right mind, but I did it. And everywhere I went, I had a money opportunity. The day I came to LA, I got a job. like modeling my hair.
Amazing.
And then I started doing hair and makeup for a pageant. I have never done anyone's hair or makeup besides my own.
So you just said, okay,
you know,
here
like,
we go. We're gonna...
I think me taking that leap,
yeah,
that now like the universe is giving back to me for doing something so daring.
Yeah. It's rewarding you for giving yourself the gift of testing it out and following that exploratory nature. God, that's so cool.
And then yesterday I started my job, my real job. Started my job yesterday, and I met my new roommate yesterday, and I move into my place a week from today.
Oh my gosh.
In Glendale, and I have my own room, bathroom, walk-in closet.
That's great.
Yes, and it's only $500 a month. I can't even get.
You gotta be kidding me.
I can't even get that rent in Tennessee. Yeah, I'm
what
paying
the heck?
$500 a month for my own bedroom, bathroom, and walk-in closet.
I didn't even realize that places like that even existed.
Yeah.
That cheap.
And the person I'm rooming with, he said that me needing a roommate was a blessing for him because he couldn't afford the whole thing on his own, and it was such a good deal. He did not want to let go of that spot. Oh, those were two flies fucking on your glasses.
Nature just consummated their relationship.
They did, there on the tip of the brim.
Babies.
Hey, do you know where I can buy a black bow tie? I need it for work.
Oh, do you?
Does anyone on your channel know where to get a black bow tie?
I know there's...
Ladies and gentlemen, please email me at inspiradoprojecto@gmail if you know where at gmail.com if you know where to get a black bow tie. I know there's one I know there's one bow tie around the corner. No, there's a like a thrift store kind of around the corner.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta have that. I work at 4. And I work at a 24-hour diner now, so like tonight I'm working a normal shift, but the next 2 weeks I'm working 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
So you're going to meet quite a lot of interesting people.
Oh, yeah, because those are when the weirdos come in, is after dark.
And a lot of the thinkers, a lot of the folks who are the go-getters, the people who are, like you were saying, filled with that anxiety, that excitement of creating things. They just can't go to sleep. They're too excited to create what they're creating. They're like, I can't go to sleep now. I got this idea I'm creating.
That happened to me too. I had that already, but now I have that some days, and then some days I learn that I have to sleep. I'm just I don't know. I grew up from the lightning. It's weird. I feel like an 80-year-old woman in a 22-year-old's body.
Did you happen to come across any... So within that... You were talking about that 3-hour time span.
Yeah.
That you felt in your brain, and you came across your loved ones who had passed. What else did you experience during that time? Did you experience any past lives, future lives, any... did you travel to Saturn, for instance?
Okay. So, it's kind of like pictures, like a flip book of pictures. It's weird. And the first one was, strangely enough, sunsets. Just a bunch of sunsets. And then I did acid not too long ago. And when I did it, God showed me every sunset.
Wait, and what was this, did you just say?
Acid.
And it showed you all of the sunsets?
LSD. Yeah, it literally...
A lot of the brilliant minds the LSD opens up the portals, doors of perception.
Yeah, and I think because I got struck by lightning, and then I did that, and it opened that, and I've passed twice now. For one, I know for sure, and then the other one, I know for sure. So, I really feel like I saw every single sunset that God's ever created.
Oh, wow.
And it felt like I was sitting there while he was painting them.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I also was just swarming around the world as an air bubble, just in the air everywhere.
Wow.
And
how did you feel during that time?
It kind of felt like, I don't know what it feels like to not be alive, but it kind of felt like what I now think of when people pass. I feel like their energy is just roaming the world and roaming the universe, and it's free, and it's whatever it wants to be. It was kind of like a spruce of freedom.
Wow.
It was not because I was stuck to the umbrella. You know, when you're electrocuted, you can't let go of what you're holding on to. I was stuck to it, but I was wow, it was when it happened, it was horrible. But, like, I couldn't grasp everything that I experienced until, like, weeks after. You know, like, I had to think about it for weeks. And
just would more pictures kind of filter into you?
Yeah. It's like not even more pictures. It's just like, I saw this and now I know the meaning behind that. You know, like I saw every picture, but like now I know the fucking meaning behind it. It's really crazy. Yeah.
Have you been writing this stuff down?
No. I've been like too busy exploring life to do that. Like I don't think I'll ever be able to write it down. Like I think I'm gonna have to do a like video documentary of it to be able to get my point across. There's no way I could put this in words. Like people are just gonna have to like feel me from like me telling the story, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's no way to write this down.
Oh my goodness.
You could. This in itself would be a great podcast. Just, you know, especially if you don't have time to write it down. That's what I love so much about the podcast is that I'm always using public transportation. So you can talk wherever the heck you want and whatever's going on, and you're just putting it out there. And it's a great way to document and archive your own life so your future self has something to look back on, like an Encyclopedia Britannica of, like, information.
Yeah.
And plus, it offers a lot of people to be able, you know, to be inspired by that.
Yeah, this is refreshing because, like, I don't have work till 4, and I was just up there smoking a bowl and just, like, wanting to do something, but not. So this is cool. Like, I'm glad that we're doing a little podcast. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do one, and I haven't before. I've done a podcast of me freestyling, like, to a song, but that's it, you know? That's cool. That's cool that you did it.
So have you, because you know what, the other great thing, too, is that, because I play music, too, and so all the time, I'll have riff ideas and stuff. So this whole podcast is about the process of creation. It's not necessarily about yes, it's about the genius, like, of finishing the thing, but really it's about just really leaning into the process of the creation and just having a blast with whatever's coming to you. Even if it's only fragments, I put it down, because I have no idea how that's going to evolve into something in the future. And plus, I don't know if I'm going to forget it or not, you know? And it's a very simple, easy way to document your life as you're walking through life. And also, obviously, to share it with others.
How much was that?
This was a $6 microphone.
What? Where did you get it? On Amazon?
Well. I will show. I will tell you. I'll send you or if you give me your email address, I'll send you the exact link that I use.
Yes.
Oh my God, this is so awesome. Like when I'm in crowds and stuff, when I'm at anywhere, it has such a like a.
Yeah, it's not even getting the leaf blower really.
Yeah, I mean, like you'll hear it in the background a little bit, but it won't be like this. You know, like it won't be this overpowering sound.
That's awesome.
It's I'm so honored to have found this particular microphone.
That's
I found
so cool.
another one before too, and it's not as good as this.
Bing.
So, how many songs would you say that you've written?
Oh, like over 500.
Really?
Yeah, right now I have a binder that's overflowing, and it's this big of songs I've not recorded.
Do you play instruments too?
No, but I tap dance.
You tap dance?
Yes.
Yeah, it's incredible. I happen to have tap shoes.
I do too.
You have to show me some.
They're in my storage unit. I actually tapped in my storage unit the other day. I went up there, and I was like,
must sound great, echoing through the hallways, right?
It's so cool. And then, do you know the song "Sweet Georgia Brown"?
Oh God, wait, Ray Charles?
No, it's the version that I know is a girl. It might be Ray Charles.
Oh.
But anyways, like I sing that song and tap at the same time, and I love it.
Were you listening to it in your storage facility? Were you playing it in there?
No, I was just singing it.
Oh, you were singing it?
Yeah, singing and dancing.
You were your own percussion.
Yep.
That is fantastic. Now, so you have all these songs, and what's your idea of? Do you want to have people create those songs into their music, or?
Oh shit! You asked me a question, and that's when we started talking about the lightning, and it had to do with that. Like what? Like when am I going to release? Or why haven't I? Yeah. And I just want to wait until like I have more songs than I want to put out at once. Like if I want to put out 8 songs for my first album, I want to have 16 songs ready to go.
Well, it sounds like you got 500.
Yeah, they are not recorded because, like I said, I've been broke as hell, and I haven't like had studio time. I've had it offered to me, but like under circumstances that weren't comfortable, you know, and I'm not that person. I'm not ever. I also, the reason I do what I do, the reason like I am trying to be a dancer, singer, actress, model, whatever, because all these kids and babies in the world that are growing up, and like we don't know what their world is going to be like, but like if somebody positive has fame, like I don't really necessarily want fame, but like that's one of the tools that I need to touch as many lives as I want to, like, and I can do it too. And I've known something, like I feel like when I was 3 years old, I knew I was going to get struck by lightning. I just knew that was me. Like, wow. I'm that type of person that's going to go out and get struck by lightning. I'm that type of person that's going to make it, you know. Like, my mom didn't even believe in me for so long. She believes in me now. Shout out to my mama. But she didn't for so long. And, like, for so long I wanted to prove to her that I could do it, which failed me every time. But now, like, I want to I've proven to myself that I can do it. Now I just want to do it. There's so many kids out there that need to be touched. You know, like there's some people out there, like Tori Kelly, like just one off the top of my head. Like I've never seen her do anything negative, say anything negative. Like she was on Elmo. My son watches Tori Kelly. She's a great singer. And like she's, you know, done good things with her fame. You know, she hasn't yet. You know, I'm not saying she won't, but she hasn't done anything to be looked at in a negative eye, you know? So, like, I just want to do something that's, like, not even that. I don't want to not be looked at negatively. Like, I want to be looked at positively, you know, not just not negative. Like, I want to be an inspiration for kids. I want it to be, like, something that sparks something in them that says, oh, I can do this. Because for me to have that and for people to not believe in me, and for me to still have that, like, it was really hard to get where I am. So I want to make it easier for other people, because not everybody's going to get struck by lightning.
Yeah, you got quite an intriguing story, and I'm so honored that you shared this story with me. I mean, gosh, if I never followed my impulses in tuning in my intuition with synchronicities and coincidences and deja vu and all those beautiful little magical things that the universe gives to us, if I was not that kind of person, this conversation would probably not be happening right now. Right. So it's all because of that this is happening. Because I'm going, okay, you know what? Since we're here, rather than trying to set up a time to interview you or whatnot.
Right.
And I had no idea you were going to give me this treasure trove of information when I sat down to interview you.
I had no idea you were going to give me this fucking shirt.
I mean, this is incredible.
This is incredible, too.
I mean, this is just astounding.
My life is based on coincidences and deja vu and weird-ass shit that people can't comprehend. Like, my whole life is that every day. I feel like that every day. Yesterday, I didn't even know if I was going to have a place to live. And then, bam, I move in next week.
I love it.
And I love my roommate. I love my room. I love the area. Like, it's $500 a month. What? You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. How the hell?
Yeah.
How the hell?
It's such a beautiful... Just imagine how many more of those delicious little nuggets are waiting around the corners, just waiting to go, surprise, surprise. It's amazing because when you build up this reservoir of information... oh, nuggets. Hooray for nuggets and giblets and morsels.
The other day, actually was yesterday. It was yesterday, right before that happened. I saw a bunch of homeless people at Burger King, and, you know, they have 10 nuggets for $1, and I bought 30 nuggets, and I gave it to them.
Oh, that is so
great. And then that happened. And you said little nuggets are waiting around the corner, and that is what a nugget is.
Oh my gosh.
A nugget is a blessing.
A completely unexpected, beautiful surprise that was, oh, wow.
See? I told you.
These are my favorite kinds of conversations. I constantly tell people, like,
see,
if I could have these kinds of conversations, these are that's what I would have all day long if I had my choice.
That's where that anxiety comes from. You see? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this greatness? So much more greatness. What am I going to... I can't let it out. Like, I cannot... don't know how to express that greatness yet. It's just like, in me. And I'm like, this is as far as I go, you know? Like I can...
Well, through your songs, through your writings, you can,
yes,
you know.
But I'm waiting, and I don't know why I'm waiting, but I know that it's going to be worth the wait. So that's it. That's why I'm waiting. I just know that if I put more thought and more time and everything, I can make my first album as good as my last one will be.
Yes, and you know what the thing is that when we honor the process of creation, like one of the big examples I always use is like when the Beatles come out with an album, and it's so funny because just recently they came out with another remix of the White Album, and it's 5 hours, and you hear them joking around in the studio, you hear alternate takes of songs, you hear them, you know, kind of being sloppy and messy with creating, you know, their songs, they're talking about stuff, and it's like that's beautiful because we get to hear the human aspect of you know, that finished product.
Yeah.
And so it's so funny because like I'm constantly utilizing the Beatles as an example of like saying, look, everybody, you know, every few years or something there's another Beatles album where they show like the process of them creating this stuff, and I think there's something fun about going on a journey with musicians and hearing when they did their demos, and it's just their cassette player and they're in their bedroom playing their guitar, and then that, you know, that lo-fi sound, like Bright Eyes. There's a guy named Bright Eyes.
Performance ready.
Yeah, and then you hear them grow through the years, and you hear them, you know, oh, now they have more money, now they can invest in a better microphone, or now they can go into a studio. Like, especially in this day and age, now we have GarageBand on our phone. You know, a lot of people have GarageBand on their phones. A free recording thing where you could you know, put all these different tracks on there, which is like so awesome because at least
a song at home.
Oh my
free.
God, absolutely!
You don't have to wait on your phone.
Yes.
And you know what? I just got a free phone.
You did?
Yeah, from the government.
How crazy is this?
Yeah, I mean it's a Fed phone, but I ain't got nothing to hide.
I ain't got nothing to hide.
I'm smoking legal weed.
This is so cool. I cannot tell you. Just this is
one for the books.
Absolutely. Was yesterday Monday or 2 days ago? I can't remember.
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Okay, so I have a version of this as a radio show that's in Chinatown in Los Angeles, the first and third Monday of every month. So I have it for an hour. I figured, okay, I'll have the radio show on Mondays. People generally hate Mondays. And then I'll do it during a lunch break between 1 and 2 because then I'll give people this sort of media experience that they're not going to get listening to their mainstream stuff. There's just no way that they're going to be talking about synchronicities on ABC News or whatever. So 2 days ago, I had two Mayans in the studio, and they're doing this thing called the Mayan Heart Festival, which is happening December 20th through the 23rd, and it's this special, like, cosmic moment that's happening out in Guatemala near these huge-ass pyramids. And I met these guys, and it was astounding to hear the information that these guys were talking about. I mean, they were talking about how, like, the one guy was brought up in this, I mean, truly, this Mayan culture where he was taught all these different Mayan ceremonies, going to the past, going to the future. I mean, there was so much information that I can't even appropriately explain any of it. That's how dense the information was. And it was all about the synchronicities. It was all about all this delicious, beautiful stuff that we're talking about now. And so to have these two wise men in the studio to talk about this stuff, it gave me this like awesome sort of reassurance in the things that I had that I had discovered and I would share with others, you know. So to hear these guys go, oh yeah, this is ancient wisdom. This is, and I'm going, oh my gosh, and you could feel the vibration go, get higher and higher in that studio. Like I felt like everybody was going to levitate, or the entire building was just going to, you know, like from its foundation and go like a rocket into the sky.
Wow.
It was so cool, and that's what happens when you talk about this kind of stuff, right? It's like, it's not. Because you're not speaking within the realm of the Matrix. Mm-hmm. You're speaking you're speaking about the realm that, you know, that people drew from to create this dome, this Matrix, you know. So it's like when you draw from the all that is, oh my gosh, it can go, and it's so awesome because like, do you notice, like, do you treat? I mean, I'm thinking probably now, especially now since you got struck by lightning, do you feel that you have more of a relationship with the universe than you did before?
Oh my goodness. I am the universe. I am my own small, tiny universe.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I don't look at flowers the same. My last name is Flowers. Yeah. But I don't look at Yeah, right?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I don't look at them the same. Like they all have feelings, you know? Like, and I didn't realize that before. I was like, oh, they're alive, but they're just, like, plants. But they are, like, their own creatures, you know? And then, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're living and breathing, and if I flick it, it might say ow in its brain, you know? But, like, I feel like the air, the wind that blows is part of the past. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's the universe. Like, there's God, I don't know where it came from, but the universe, it landed here, where we are. And, you know, people pass, and people are born, and, like, traumatic things happen, amazing things happen, and all of that, it just keeps circulating and growing. And you can take this, and you can make whatever you want of it. This piece of air right here, this is an experience. You can make what you want of it. And I don't know, I'm just weird. I can't talk about the universe. It just makes me fucking, like, everything is meant to be. Everything happens for a reason. I didn't think that before because, you know, there's so much horrible things that happen. But I think you have to be at one with the universe in order to live your best life. Because if I didn't realize that everything happens for a reason, I would be stuck in the past. Instead of taking those pieces of the universe and turning them into the future.
Yes.
And turning that, the future is already turning into another future. You know what I mean? Like, we're in the future now. And now. You know, it's every moment. Like, I can just run away from you right now if I wanted to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Every single blink, and even before that blink, and in between those blinks is a brand new brand new reset button.
Like, they try to monotonize like everybody, like, and I think it's, like, really cool when people branch away from that.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm not at one with the brainwash and the social media. You know, I'm not at one with all that, like the whole universe is, you know? Not the whole universe, but the majority of it is. It's, like, brainwashed. And they don't think for themselves. I love to think for myself. You know, I want to know what my thoughts are on that. Like, I want to research this shit myself. You know, like, I want to go see Jesus really did resurrect from the dead. You know what I'm saying?
It's intriguing because, like, we wouldn't have the Nikola Teslas. We wouldn't have the Albert Einsteins if they were stuck within that
Exactly.
dome of...
the Ben Franklins who, you know, got struck by lightning.
They followed their
That's
hearts.
how he found electricity, was through lightning.
God. And, you know, and that's, you know, and they're saying that he was, like, one of the most productive guys of all time. He rarely slept. He slept, like, in 15-minute increments. And so that's why he was able to write so many things, invent so many things. I mean, that guy, and it sounds very similar to, like, look at that, a butterfly. How beautiful is that? Right as we're talking.
I have one right here.
You have a butterfly. Oh, my God. It's just going to keep amplifying and amplifying and amplifying.
I gotta go smoke this bowl and get ready for work. or else we're gonna end up skipping down the beach together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a wonderful life.
It's so cool how it all is what it is that you make it, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? Like, a lot of the cliches that we hear, there's a reason why those things are cliches, because someone went through this whole process and they were able to kind of boil it down to that one. We're talking about nuggets. They're able to boil it down to that one nugget that kind of explains it all.
Yeah.
And, you know, life truly is what you make it, right?
Life's what you make it, so let's make it rock. That's Hannah Montana.
Oh.
I feel like Hannah Montana because, you know, she was like, the other side, the other side, the other side of me. I'm 22, so you have to forgive me. I watched Hannah Montana.
I'm not going to forgive you. I mean, I'm not going to not forgive you. Here,
That's cool.
This is so...
Hey, how you doing? Good. It's unlocked.
Oh, my goodness. See, that's the other beautiful thing, too, that I've noticed is that...
And I won't ever take this
whenever it's so funny, because it's happened time and time again where someone is there who their arms are full, and I just happen to be here, and I go, let them in the door. And there have been times where I come up from the grocery store, my arms are full, someone happens to be there to let me in. It's like it just keeps giving it back and forth to each other.
Yep. Or if I forget the code to get in, somebody be like, here you
Yes,
go.
yes.
Come right in. Oh, I love this shirt.
Astounding. Astounding. My goodness, these synchronicities, they are amping up, man. Amping up. Especially since after meeting the Mayans. My goodness, man. The Mayan Heart Festival, I just know that's going to be spectacular. What I'm going to include in this podcast next, since tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and I don't know if I'll be making a podcast during Thanksgiving. I might, who knows, by the end of the day. I'm going to include next a song that I created a number of years ago when my brother and sister-in-law and I think it was even before my little niece was born. Ella was born. It's called Iam Thankfull. And it's a Thanksgiving song. And in light of the extraordinary conversation that just transpired, I think we ought to go ahead and play that for you. Have a great Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. The time has now arrived, yet once again, for us, my dearest friends, we're gathered here to share the wisdom we've culminated through the year. I am thankful, I am grateful, you are full of something special. I am wishful, I am dreamful, you are full of supernatural. The fact that you're alive is quite a miracle when you think about what you went through to be here now, and all the lives you've touched long years. It's amazing to know what you do when you don't know. I am thankful, I am grateful, you are full of something special. I am wishful, I am dreamful, you are full of supernatural. Thankful, I am grateful, you are full of something special. I am wishful, I am dreamful, you are full of supernatural.